There we go. Okay. Let me know if you can hear. Hopefully everything's working this time. Hey, Melinda, I'm so sorry you're sick. I hope you feel better soon. Hey, 12 Stones. Hi, Lori. How are you? Yay. Hey, Wayne. How's it going? Awesome. Thanks, Byron. I'm glad you can see and hear me. I got into the YouTube studio and I couldn't remember how to go live from a scheduled live. So I was panicking because it wouldn't let me. I was clicking on it, but it wouldn't let me go live. And then finally it worked. So anyway, I found the right thing to click, I guess. But I forgot. It looks different than it did last time. So Grilling Addiction with Nick. Hi, how are you? Y'all as cold as I am? It's terrible outside. Let's see here. Make sure I do live chat instead of top chat. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, thank y'all for joining me. I hope you're having a good night. I am trying to get my fingers warm. I can't feel them right now. It's so cold. I think it's probably, it says it's 31 degrees. I think it's probably a little colder than that. But there's ice on the trees. There's no ice on the ground, but there's ice all in the trees. Hey, Corey and Cynthia, how are y'all? Cold enough for ice on the ground. Yeah, 12 Stones, are you iced in where you're at? I know my parents are iced in. It's getting pretty bad. Hey, Marianne, how are you? Feels like the temperature's in the high 20s. Yeah, that's about what it feels like here. I don't think we have much of a wind, but I think it's been sleeting a little bit, but mostly just rain. And I guess maybe we had freezing rain since it's stuck in the trees. Melinda, it's funny you say that you write stuff down. I have a planner and I write everything down if I need to remember it. Otherwise, I forget. Wayne, we do have power to the building, thankfully. We just don't really have heat. So we have a large window AC unit and it puts out heat. It says it's 86 degrees, but it feels more like 60 something degrees. It's not super warm. And then we have a space heater, but it keeps just shutting off. It's not working right. And I had started it right before this live, and it's out of reach, so I can't reach it. And it already shut off, so that's not very helpful. And you actually have to hit it really hard on the top to make it work. And yeah, it's more mocking us than anything right now. We do have the dryer going, and we have the vent hose vented into the house, so that warms it up pretty good. Dang, 12 Stones, probably an inch on the ground. That's crazy. Is it solid ice? Or did y'all get some snow too? Marianne, please send me some of the heat. She says it's hot in Florida. I wish it was hot here. It's cold and I hate it. Hi, Dot. How are you? Thanks for coming in. Let's see here. Everybody's doing the rocker thing to CNC. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think everywhere is getting pretty hammered with ice. I know Texas A&M canceled classes tomorrow, which they never ever cancel class. And then I know North Texas is pretty much shut down. It really hasn't been bad here. It's been cold, and like I said, the trees have ice on them, but the roads, we went to town earlier and the roads weren't bad yet. I guess maybe tonight it'll be pretty cold and frozen. I'm not really sure. Sleet, frozen, rain. That's terrible. I feel like frozen rain's is worse than sleet because it makes a sheet of ice versus the sleet. Sometimes if it doesn't melt and refreeze, you can kind of sweep it off of the way. 12 Stones, what does the pup think of the strange weather? She is actually loving it. She does not like being outside when it's raining and cold, but in general, it gives her a lot of energy, so she's just gone. She runs, our neighbors have about 15 acres, and she told me I could let June run out there whenever I wanted, and so I let June run out there today, and she was just having the time of her life. I couldn't feel my fingers, but she was having a great time. Hi, Hat Creek. We have sleet and frozen rain. Kids have been out of school all week. It's super slick. Yeah, it sounds like y'all have been hammered. I think y'all got the worst of it so far. Corey and Cynthia, still raining here in Middle Tennessee. Yurt Nation. I forgot it was Yurt. My brain it won't work. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think North Texas canceled school tomorrow, and I want to say they maybe released classes early today, or maybe it was early yesterday. I don't remember, but they don't play around, which is good. I mean, snow you can drive on, ice you can't. So there's no point in everybody dying in a wreck, especially when it comes to black ice. Oh my goodness. Hat Creek Yurt. Nice. Oh my gosh. When you go for a walk in the area, it's called yurting around. Well, there you go. It was terrible, whatever you want to call it. I walked outside to take some pictures of some lotion with the frozen pine needles in the background. And I think I was outside for all of 5 minutes and I couldn't feel my fingers. But like I said, Jean was having the time of her life. Wayne says he's had a lot of rain here. Haven't had a chance to get my roof replaced. It's rained so much. Oh, Wayne, that's terrible. I'm sorry. I hope you get it replaced soon. And I hope you're not getting too many leaks right now. Hi, Butch Brown. How are you? I am hanging in there. It is cold. It's very cold. I don't remember what I was going to say. I've been making lotions, and right now, like, I made a bunch of lotions, and I need to make some more, but the problem is it's been so cold, and we don't have a water heater, that the water is really, really cold, and just rinsing something off, your fingers go numb. So every time I need to do dishes, I have to heat up water on the stove, which is fine, but I think it's like a 16-quart pot, and so it doesn't heat up a ton at a time. So I can do dishes in batches, but it takes a while. Half Century Farm, hey! Wayne, they temp fix the leaks. The cost is going to kill me. Yeah, roofs are really, really expensive to replace, but I'm glad at least it's not leaking on you, because a leak and then the cold would be terrible. Thank you so much, 12 Stones, for posting a link to my store. I'm actually going to talk about some new stuff that I added, so I'm pretty excited about that. Yes, so I did take pictures of new products. I don't have them with me because I shipped them out, but I made some lotions. And the way my lotions are is they're made to order, so they're really fresh. And so it's on the pictures on my Instagram and my Facebook. I need to post it on YouTube here in a little bit, but I took a photo of it and then I mailed it out, so I don't actually have the bottle to show y'all. All's good here in Louisiana. I live half the time just south of Dallas, so I delayed going back for a few days. That's smart. I saw a picture of Dallas this afternoon, and it was completely iced over. It didn't look like Dallas at all. What part of Dallas do you go to? And how much warmer is Louisiana? Because I feel like it's probably a little bit warmer than here right now. Hi, Susie. How are you? Half Century Farm. I think I said hi. Yeah, I did. Okay, awesome. Did I get around to trying the mix other scents in the lotion? Lori, yes, I did. I actually made cherry blossom, blue agave, oatmeal milk and honey, lemongrass, eucalyptus, lavender chamomile, and vanilla last night. And so the main issue I'm worried about with this, I'm going to turn this ring light down. It's a little bright. Some of the fragrances can discolor the lotion a little bit. Like vanilla is really bad about discoloring to brown. And so in my soaps, it'll make my soap brown. So I'm trying to make sure that my lotion doesn't look brown. And you can add color to them so it kind of hides what the fragrance does. Like if it's a yellow color fragrance, you can make it yellow or whatever. So I'm trying to make sure that there's no weird coloring of the lotion. It doesn't affect it. It's just fine. It just looks weird. So I'm trying to make sure that doesn't happen. So I'm going to be listing, probably in a week, I'm going to be listing some new lotion scents on the website once they have time to sit. And then the vanilla one, I'm going to probably wait a little bit longer, like a couple weeks or a month, just to make sure it doesn't turn brown. Like I said, it doesn't affect the lotion. It's a perfectionist thing for me. I want it to look really good. For camper trash. Corey and Cynthia, you aren't camper trash. Are you talking in like lotions or soap or what? Waxahachie. I go through town when I go back and forth. 287. Yep, that's right by us. That is not far at all. Waxahachie is a cool place. We're actually going to the Scarborough Fair here soon. One of my good friends since I was a little kid is getting married there. So I'm really excited. I've never been to a Ren Fair before, so it should be a lot of fun. They're getting married in the fairgrounds, and like costumes are optional, but I think I'm gonna have to dress up because that sounds like a good time. Hi, Auntie Anne. How are you? I haven't seen you in forever, but I haven't been on very many lives or YouTube in general. I've just been busy. Busy. But yeah, with the lotions, I'm hoping to do it soon. I actually tested out the vanilla one last night, and it smells so good. But I do have unscented and I have luscious lavender. I'm going to be adding cherry blossom and lavender chamomile lotions on the site tonight. I actually meant to do that before I went live, but I added some other stuff that I'll show y'all here in a second. Let me make sure. I feel like I'm missing comments, but I don't think that I am. So I guess I'll go ahead and show y'all some of the things that I've been working on. So when I was back up in North Texas at my parents' house, my dad and I have been talking about these for a while, and we finally got the stuff to make them, and I'm really excited about it because my dad and I both love to camp, and he's a big outdoorsman, and so we wanted to make some outdoorsy stuff. So these, it's not gonna, let me see if I can dim this just a little bit. You can't really tell, but they're light yellow, almost like a popcorn yellow color. And they're fire starters. Let me brighten this back up. So what you're going to do, you can't tell, but there's a little slit here. You might be able to tell a little bit. So what you do is you bend them and you twist them up. And let me dim this back down. It's going to get fibrous. And what you do is you fluff it up like that. And then you can use a lighter or a flint and steel, whatever you want to use to get this going. And it's a really cool fire starter. It's cotton, and so it's really easy to light. It's also coated in our secret recipe, so it'll catch really fast. And the cool part about them is they are waterproof. My dad actually held one underwater for a minute, and it still lit up just fine. And they burn for probably a minute to 2 minutes. I haven't timed it, but it's definitely over a minute. And they catch really, really well. And you could even use half if you wanted. You can tear it in half once it's fluffed. And then, like I said, you just want to make sure it's fluffed up really good, because the more fibrous you get it, the better it's going to catch, because this part's really compacted. And you could even cut it smaller if you wanted to and use like a little tiny piece. But yeah, they're really cool. So I have those on my website. I actually added a new tab to my website. It's called Mercantile, and it has the fire starters on there. And then eventually I'll be adding some more stuff that either my dad and I make, or James and I make, or just things in general. I have a lot of hobbies, and I like adding those sorts of things to my website besides just soap, because soap's only part of what I like to do. So but yeah, thank y'all. We're really cool. So we're really happy with them. We did a lot of testing. You can see this is like half. I think we made almost 700 of them. So I have 10 packs, 20 packs, and 40 packs available. I think I had the 10 packs for $3. The 20 packs are $6, and the 40 packs are $12. So they're super cheap. And like I said, you can make 2 or 4 or however many you want out of each one. You can see if you start at the very end, they can be kind of hard to pull apart just because they're so compacted. So what we did is made that slit in them, and then they're really easy to peel from the slit. Yes, but it doesn't work. It doesn't have a problem getting wet at all. Maybe if you fluffed it up a lot and then dipped it, you might have a little bit of a hard time. But if you just dunk them when they're solid, there's no big deal. And then they're kind of waterproof coating, And so then you can just fluff it up. And I think even if you got this part, the fibrous part, wet, if you put a flame near it, it'd kind of dry it out pretty quick and then start up fast. Half Century Farm, we did make them. Yeah, so Dad and I, he had some friends that made some fire starters and gave them to him, but they didn't look, they worked really good, but they didn't really look super polished, I guess you'd say. They were kind of just rough looking. And so we wanted to take that concept and make them better. So I'll show y'all if I can get, this is 5 of them. So they're about 1.5 inches long. And I wish that you could see, maybe this one you can possibly see. Yeah, you can kind of see that slit there. So that's what you'll stick your finger in and peel it apart with. But yeah, we made these, I guess, a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago maybe. But I've been trying to get, I have a lot of ideas for how I want to add to this. And I have some different, they're metal tins that I used to use for candles. And they've been packed away and I can't find them. So once we find them, I'm going to be adding some more stuff to my website with that sort of thing. But these were actually my dad's design. And then we worked with a formula for, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours to get it just perfect. And then we stayed up super late making them. I actually have, I'll show you how many I have. And I actually left some with him. And then I already gave some to Jane. But you can see we made a ton. So I'm really excited about these. I think they'll be really popular, which I'm really excited about. 12 Stones posted the link to the fire starters. Thank you, sir. Thank y'all for the compliments. Hey, Vineyard Farmhouse, how are you? You know, 12 Stones, it's funny that you say that because I think Buck could really make use of them. I'm actually going to send Maddie some. I got some surprises I'm going to send him. He used to do fire starter videos, and he got sponsored. I don't know if it's sponsored or like he just got sent some stuff from some companies. And I asked him if I sent him some, if he'd make like a demo video for me, since that's up his alley. And so he's going to do that for me, and I'm going to send him some other stuff. So I think that'll be super cool. Hi, Piggy. Howdy, Rachel. Won't be able to hear. Got sound down, other things going. I understand. Wanted to come and say howdy. Let's see here. Hi, Piggy. You said just wave because you can't hear. Cat Creek, yeah, they would be perfect for scouting. And the cool part is they're really tiny. So they're really, really effective, but they're really tiny. James actually, when it was raining and icing last night, we have a lot of brush piles on our land just from clearing. There's tons of briar. We've taken down a bunch of trees. And so while it's raining, he wanted to burn because we have a little bit of PTSD from that house fire. For those of you who don't know, our neighbor's house, it burned down 3.5 months ago, and it almost caught ours on fire. And so we've both been really nervous about fires in general. So we haven't been burning any brush until it's basically pouring down rain. So James took some of these yesterday, and he had no problem lighting these. It took a while to get all the wood and stuff going since they were so wet. But yeah, he said the starters work so well. So he was funny because he didn't want to use them. And I was like, well, I made some for you because, well, I want you to make sure everybody else can get a hold of some. And I said, well, I have 700, so you can use some for the fire. But I thought I saw some more comments. Yeah, my dad and I made them. We had a good time. I like spending time with my dad, so it was fun getting to spend time with him and also put some of our plans and goals into action. So that was super cool. Let's see. I thought I missed somebody here. And then I guess I'll show you the other things we made. So my dad had a couple of these for himself. Sorry guys, I got a tickle in my throat. I about get my allergies fixed and then the weather changes and then it kills me again. All right, so Dad had made some of these and he asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and this is what I told him. And then we talked about it and we're like, we could sell these. So what they are is they're flint and steel fire starters. And this one I have to fix because somehow I didn't put a striker on it. But they're paracord and some are survival cord, and I'll explain that in a second. So it's really cool. They're pretty long. You can put them around your neck, tie them on your backpack, whatever you want. Let me get you one that has the striker. So it's knotted here, so it's pretty stiff and firm, and this is designed to give you a lot of extra cord. So the lanyard's long, but you can always chop some off and undo some of this and make a long lanyard again. Melinda, that's nice, James, thinking of others. Yeah, he's a sweetheart. He's the best. So what happens is this part, these are really nice strikers. They're really big. They've got a big chunky handle on them, and they are high-speed steel, so they stay really, really sharp. And then these, I think these are barite. And then these are special ferro rods. They're softer. So when you actually, I'm not going to do it obviously, but when you use them, it actually takes big pieces off of this ferro rod. And so you get really big sparks. So you can light your fire really fast. And then the cool part about these is they have this little lanyard end, and you can unclip this, and then it'll expose the two ends of your lanyard, and then you can cut off as much as you need to use. So if you're out in the field and you need to tie something up and you didn't bring anything, your fire starter becomes your survival cord. So this one's survival cord, and the green one and the orange one are both survival cord. And I wish I had a piece of it to show y'all, but they're super cool. When you cut them open, instead of just having like the nylon string inside, there is a wax. It's a big, thick red wax string, and that's actually fire starter cable. Then there is 50-pound fishing line in here and a cotton string. So you have string to sew something up with. You have a way to start a fire in case you don't have fire starters or tinder, and then you have a fishing line. So these are really cool because you don't have to find tinder to start your fire. You can just cut a piece of this out, take that waxed red piece out, fluff it like you would a normal fire starter, and then light it up using your striker, which is super neat. Someone says they're not feeling well. I missed it. I hope whoever's still sick. Okay, Melinda. I hope you feel better, Melinda. That's terrible. Hey, Marion, how are you? Butch Brown, yes. I try to spend a lot of time with my dad. We've always been super close, and our personalities are very similar, so we get along really well. And we like to make stuff too, so it was really fun. He actually made 2 of these, and I made 2 of these. So we got to spend a lot of time together while I was up for the week. Auntie Ann, yeah, multifunction. So let me show you the other 2. So like I said, these are the survival cord, and I need to put the striker on the orange one. I forgot to do that somehow. And then, let's see here. Hey, Backwoods. I'm showing the fire starters I was telling you about. And then these 2 are just a little bit normal paracord. And the red one is also normal paracord, but they have the same high-speed steel striker and the soft ferro rod on them, so they light really well. This is actually what we used to start the fires yesterday. 12 stones, who knows? I hope you're staying warm too. And hopefully y'all can still hear me. I just got the notification that my connection's unstable, but it went away, so hopefully you can still hear me. So these are super cool. I think I listed for the normal paracord ones for $18. And like I said, all of them have the clip where you can undo them and cut off as much as you want. And you can take extra slack out of this knot. These have about 90 inches of paracord in them. Most of it's in this knot. I think this part's probably about 2 foot maybe. And you could shorten it however you want to. Same with the survival cord. They're also about 90 inches of paracord, and they work really well. So actually, this was one of my Christmas presents from my dad, and we were talking about it, and I was like, we could sell these. So he goes, let's get the stuff. So he got all the stuff to make them, and then we made them together. Buffering a little, but clearing back up. Awesome. Thank you, Auntie Ann. 12 Stone said cut out for a second. Good now. Awesome. Hey, Ricky. You must be cold in Minnesota. It's cold in Texas. I can't imagine how cold it is there. 12 Stones, great for backwoods camping or survival. Yes. And Ricky says, smash the like. Yes, please smash the like button. I always forget to say that. I'm no YouTuber, so. 4 degrees. Oh my gosh, Ricky, that's cold. It says it's 31 here, but there's ice and stuff. It's terrible. Backwoods is telling everybody hi. Auntie Ann says it's cold in Oklahoma. Yeah, I think Oklahoma might have gotten it worse than most of Texas, I think. Because y'all have had it for what, like 4 days, 4 or 5 days? I know, Backwoods, I miss you too. I need to talk to you. I need to send you your stuff that I was telling you about. I haven't finished them yet. Hat Creek says it's cold in Arkansas. Yeah, Arkansas and Oklahoma have gotten hammered with the cold weather. So I don't have them by me, but something else that my dad and I are going to do, actually, I have all this stuff to do. I haven't done it yet. We're going to make other strikers like this, and it's going to have a different actual striker piece. The striker piece is a bottle opener, a hex screwdriver, whatever you want to call it. It also has a little tiny ruler on the back and something else. It's got like 6 different functions, but it's the same concept, except for instead of a lanyard, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them onto fat wood. So I don't know if y'all know what fat wood is, but it's pine wood that has had a lot of sap seep into it. And so you actually cut off a piece and it lights up really well, like tinder. And so I'm going to put some of these strikers in a fat wood handle. So what's cool is you have a handle, you can sculpt it however you need to make it comfortable for your hand, but you can chip out a piece and then light fire with it. Jake says it's 62 in Arizona. That's my cousin Jake. You should send me some warm weather because it is freezing here, like literally freezing. It's 31 degrees and I'm not happy. Hat Creek says it's 15 right there. Oh, with the wind chill, that's terrible. Let's see. Hey, Rebel at Heart, no worries at all. No worries at all. I've just been talking about my fire starters that my dad and I have made, and then the strikers that we made. So these are on my website. Like I said, these are 18. That's just the normal paracord. And then the survival cord ones are 20. I think I have them at 22. Yeah, I learned what at A&M. Butch Brown said I learned something at A&M. I learned a lot of things at A&M. I was there for way too long, unfortunately. I was running a business and working 3 jobs, so I went an extra year because I couldn't take as many classes as they wanted. Plus, with the science degree, they want you to take like, I think 15 hours a semester, but one actual lab course counts for 1 hour of class time, but you're actually in lab 3 hours. And one semester I was in lab 9 hours a week. So it was pretty tough, but it only counted for 3 course credits. So it was a lot of time. 12 Stone says, hit the like button. Yes, please hit that. Karen's in here. How are you, Karen? You staying warm? Yeah, lab is terrible. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it was tough. And then I never had a social life. Like the only thing I wanted to do at A&M is play intramural volleyball. I've looked forward to that forever, and then every single practice was during a lab of mine, so I never actually got to play on a team, and I was heartbroken. And then I was working 3 jobs, so I didn't have a lot of free time anyway. So I didn't really have the fun college experience that everyone does. And I even lived off of the party area, and I never even went. I mean, partying isn't my thing anyway, but I never even went. I think I had 1 drink on Northgate, and it was with dinner. It wasn't even just like out. I didn't do anything. I just studied and worked all the time. It was terrible. There was something else I was gonna show y'all, and I don't remember what it was. I think was it just the fire starters? Yeah, because I don't have the fat wood ones done yet. Karen says it's in the 20s there. I am so sorry. That's terrible. Are y'all iced in too? Let me see here. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to just go to Arizona and get warm because it's too cold. It is way too cold. Ricky says it's gonna get in the 60s in April or May. Is that really how long it takes for Minnesota to warm up? That's terrible. I mean, we were in the 60s like 3 days ago. That's the problem with around here, though. You get warm, and then it gets cold again, and then it gets warm, and then it gets cold. And so you're never really prepared for the cold because you didn't have like a slow adjustment to it. It's just bam, freezing cold. Oh my gosh. So what do y'all have going on tonight? Are y'all just huddled trying to get warm, or y'all doing things? I know there's some more lives after this. Have y'all eaten dinner yet? I haven't, and I'm starving. Backwood says barbecue beef. Are you kidding? Is that what you're having for dinner? Because that sounds so good. 34 is the high tomorrow. Hat Creek says, I don't even think it's going to get, well, I don't know if it's going to be, I think maybe 37 here tomorrow. Ridge Life is live at 7. Yeah, so when y'all get done with this live, go over to Ridge Life and jump on his live. Tim's pretty cool. I made the kiddos make it for me, Backwood says. Yeah, that's a benefit of having kids. You got free labor. Oh, man, you're making my mouth water. James and I almost went to town and got barbecue sandwiches, but I think he's going to make... I found some backstrap for my deer in the deep freezer, so I think he's going to make like a teriyaki venison sort of thing later, which I'm excited about. When will lotion be listed on the website? 12 Stones is asking. The lotion's already on the website. So right now I just have the unscented and the lavender available. But right after this live, I will be adding cherry blossom, blue agave, and lavender chamomile to the website. It's under the lotions and... Is it lotions and scrubs? I think it's lotions and scrubs on tap on my website. Melinda says, shoot, Rachel, Arizona's cold too. Go to the Bahamas. I think it's about 65 or 70 there. Really, I mean, it makes sense, but I never really thought about how much it snows in like North Arizona. Let's see. Backwood says his barbecue is good and even better that he didn't make it. I don't know what it is when someone else cooks it for you, but it's way better. Hat Creek's asking which sort of lip balms do I have. I have a ton and a half of vanilla. I have a bunch of cherry, and I have a few mints left. And I'll actually be adding more mint tonight because I had some of these lip balm ornaments left over, and there's some mint in these, so I will be relisting those individually too. Backwoods is asking if I'm going to the Oklahoma meetup in May. I honestly haven't even thought about it. I found out about it yesterday in your live, Maddie, so I haven't even thought about it. I would like to. I think that'd be a great time. It's right. I think you said it was at the 19th through the 21st. Is that right, of May? If so, it's 2 days. It ends 2 days before my birthday, so that would be a fun birthday trip. 12 Stones said he found the lotion. He was just confused by the description. Yeah, sorry. I tried to make some available and then let people know that more would be available, but I guess I didn't word it very well. Let's see. Vanilla is my favorite. Save some for me. Melinda, I think I have about 300 vanilla lip balms right now. So trust me, there is plenty for you. Okay, you're going to message me when you get off here. Backwoods, I can do that for sure. 12 Stone says yes, May 19th through 21st. Awesome. Yeah, I haven't even looked at it, to be honest with you. I know that I have some farmers markets, and I don't know if that's the same weekend or not, but I'm not sure. Lori asked how I get the fake snow out of the ornaments. That is a good question. I'm just going to dump it upside down and shake it till it comes out. I'm not really sure. It shouldn't be too hard. The only thing that I noticed with these is the lip balms are shrink wrapped. And if you know anything about styrofoam, static electricity is a real problem. And so when I shipped some, I didn't think about it, but it shook up the snow, and then the lip balms were just solid white tubes. You couldn't even tell what they were just from the static electricity. So I'm hoping I can get them out without too much problem. I guess I could try it. Let's see. Because I'm going to have to do this anyway. So it should, look at this little bathtub I have. It's so cute. It should just like, yeah, pour out pretty good. It's a little bit of, I don't know if you can tell, it's a little bit of static. But then you should be able to kind of finesse them out. I've done this before, but it takes a little bit of time to get them out. And I'm going to make a mess. And it's going to be loud because you have to shake it. But you should be able to just, it's kind of like one of those puzzle games, honestly, to get them out. Let's see here. There we go. There's one. That one's a mint one, actually. So I can add at least one mint one to the website. Let's see. Backwoods is trying to get 12 Stone's attention. I'm sure he's just messing with him. But Lori says, I'm glad you have tons of lip balm. My grandson uses it on his cheeks when he gets a windburn. That's really smart. I actually have used it like right here under my nose when I had a cold. And, you know, blowing your nose all the time, it chaps your nose and your lips. So I put it there. I've even put it on my hands in an emergency because my hands got really chapped and they were hurting really bad and I didn't have any lotion. And I hate lotion in general. And so I used some of the lip balm. And it worked really well, but it's always weird. Like, it sounds weird to use lip balm on your hands, but it worked. Backwoods. Can't. 12 giving Backwoods a hard time. Let's see. Yeah, Melinda's right. You can save the snow. I don't know if you can see it, the snow, and put it back in. Kind of one of the fun things about these ornaments is when you were done with the ornament and you got the lip balm out, you could make them into a DIY Christmas ornament. So it's cute packaging that doesn't have to go to waste. Oh, Lori says she vacuumed the balls out to get them out. That's really smart. That's way smarter. But dumping them out is kind of messy. I'm picking up little tiny pieces. I had bought them, the little fake snow, and they came in like plastic bags, and the static electricity was really bad. And then one fell, and it was open, and those little balls went everywhere, and they were statically charged, so they stuck to everything. It was a mess. You need my affirmation Backwoods, or you need 12 Stone's affirmation? I'm so confused. Backwoods says he's leaving his Christmas lights up all year. You know, we put up cheap Christmas lights, and they're still up, and I don't know if we'll take them down or not. No one can see our house anyway, so it's just us. 12 Stone sounds like the place turned into a ballroom. Yes, and it was terrible. And James was not a fan, 12 Stones. I see that you tagged him. He goes, oh man, they were everywhere. But yeah, it's kind of, I've only gotten one out, but you can, if you tip it, I'm trying not to get this foam in my computer. You should be able to like work them out. I've noticed it's easier if the end of the lip balm where the actual like twist thing is at the bottom. You can grab it a little easier because it's not smooth. You can hook your finger in there, but if it's the top of the lip balm, it's a little harder to get out, just because you don't have like, I don't know if you can see, but you don't have that little grippy part. 13 pebbles in here. I don't know what that means. A big hammer works well, Jake says. Yeah, but it's plastic. You might have to like saw it off because, I mean, you can squish it and it doesn't break, which is good. I can't imagine trying to ship. I had a couple people buy like 12 or 14 of these ornaments, and that was stressful because I didn't want them to break in shipment, but if they'd been glass, that would have been really scary. Ricky says it's too cold to take his Christmas down until April. Yes, I 100% agree with that in Minnesota. I've never been to Minnesota, but my mother-in-law's from there, and my father-in-law's from North Dakota, and James's aunt will talk about used to go running in like negative 30 degrees. And I would never do that because I would never be up there when it's negative 30 degrees. Outdoor Adventures with Carrie. Hey, she's in here. Let's see. I feel like I'm missing comments. They make those that split into, I'm thinking that would be a better idea. Yes, Auntie Ann, I thought about that, but then I would worry that it'd pop open during shipment, and then you just have a pile of that confetti, and when you open the box, it just goes everywhere. That'd be terrible. 13 Pebbles says, sounds like a cold place to be. Yes. I would not enjoy living there, that's for sure. I'm not a fan of extreme weather. Like if it's 60 degrees, 70 degrees, it's awesome. Anything above that is not too bad until you get to like 90s or hundreds. I think it was like 116 in Texas this year, and it was awful. And then anything below about 40, I'm not really a fan. I think I missed a comment from somebody. I think 13 Pebbles made a comment, but I can't see it. Wayne says he was stationed in New York. It got down to negative 70 sometimes on Flightline. We were on the lake, so mostly just negative 50 wind chills, though. They provide us plenty gear to stay warm. That's terrible. I can't imagine negative 70. I don't even know how you stay warm. Like, I have this Carhartt, and it's really thick. 2 hoodies on, and I have a warm-up shirt from when I played sports that you move and then it traps in the heat and it keeps you really warm to prevent injuries. Can't talk. And it's really great, and I wear it a lot when it's cold. But the problem is, like, my hands get cold, but not my whole hand, just like the backside, like these knuckles. And you can't curl up your fingers and get the backside warm. So I don't know if I just have had crappy gloves. Even when we went snow skiing, I went snow skiing every year for like 10 years, and my fingers would always be cold. Wayne says by the time I walked to work, ice was hanging from my nose from the moisture. Yeah, that's just awful. Like, how do you do anything when it's that cold? I've had friends that, I think she went to the South Pole, if I remember right. And she was talking about how she was outside for like 30 minutes and she got frostbite in her lungs because of that. And I just can't imagine. I can't imagine getting frostbite or being anywhere cold enough where you get frostbite, let alone in your lungs. And I was like, well, how do you heal that? She goes, eventually it just goes away. Okay. 13 Pebbles, I want some of the soaps. I have to order soon. Yes, maybe one of the admins can drop my link for me, but it's just brazossoaps.com. I hibernate when it gets really cold, Auntie Anne says. Yes, I have been fighting. James and I have both been fighting. It's been so cold without having a heater that when it gets really cold, it's really hard not to just climb in bed and go to bed. And I think at like 4 o'clock, we were both debating a nap. We're like, we have one of those really big, it's like almost a 3-foot long heating pad. And so we can put both of us can lay on it. And I was like, man, we could just fall asleep on that thing and be super toasty. And I could do my live another day. But actually, it's not too cold over here right now. 12 Stone says, I guess the cells in the lungs regenerate and replace them. I guess so. I mean, sounds like some good science to me. But yeah, frostbite in the lungs. She said it just kind of burned a little. She said that was pretty common there, that they would get frostbite in the lungs. I'm trying to think. I think it's at the South Pole. It's the cleanest air in the world. There's no pollution or anything. So it's really, really clean and really, really cold. I guess maybe, I don't know. It's crazy. Backwoods says his pants were sagging and got windburn on my hiney. That sounds terrible. We didn't do a lot, Wayne says. They kept us in the hangar with heaters that got hot at negative 70. I feel like it'd be hard to keep anything. Like, if they were electric heaters, I feel like that'd be really hard to get them warm. Antarctica, yeah, that North Pole, anywhere cold, I liked going to Colorado and going snow skiing and stuff, but just to live there doesn't sound like a good time. Hey, John, popped in for a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think the coldest I've ever been was actually, I think it was like 35 degrees out. And I was going to campus. I was in classes, and it was like I think the first spring semester I was at A&M, and it was pouring down rain, and it was terrible. And so I had a rain jacket on, but I was biking to campus. I lived pretty far off campus, and so you can't ride a bike with an umbrella. It just doesn't work. I tried it. It doesn't work. And so I biked to campus, and I was sopping wet, and I would go into the bathroom. I would change. I had jeans on, and I I would change out of my jeans into clean, dry jeans, go to class. Then before I left, after class, I go back to the bathroom, change into my wet jeans, back to my next class, and I kept doing that. I think I had like 5 classes that day. It was my busiest day, and it was at the start of the semester, so I wasn't going to just skip for classes for no reason. And I got to, I think, my 3rd or 4th class of the day, and there's a custodian, and she was mopping the floor because it was pouring down rain. Everybody was soaked, and she actually followed me through the building with her mop because I was dripping so much water. My jeans, at this point, I just gave up switching into dry jeans because they were already soaked because I couldn't really dry down between, changes. So my jeans were so wet, they were shiny, and water was just pouring out of them. So I felt so bad because she had to just follow me with the mop. But it was really funny, but it was really miserable at the time. And for whatever reason, even though it was in the 30s, A&M still had the ACs on in the classroom. So I'm sopping wet, and I'm just sitting there like getting hypothermia, trying to take notes for calculus. And I don't know why I did that. I guess I was more determined as I got older and did more classes at A&M. I'm like, it's pouring down rain, it's freezing, and I don't have a test or something super important. I just wouldn't go. But I was still trying to be a good student then, and it was dumb. I could have really gotten hurt, but let's see. Wayne says the heaters were diesel and they blew out hot air that we put into a hose into the nose cone. It would blow on us working on the radar and all. Wow. We were going to get one of those kerosene space heaters, and we didn't think it was going to get too bad last time it got cold. Ended up getting to -5, and we went to go see if they had any more heaters, and they were sold out. And then this time's pretty much warm compared to how it was a couple weeks ago. Bye, Ricky. Have a good night. Awesome. Thank you, 12 Stones. 12 Stones just posted the link to my lotions. So that's my newest product, soap-wise, on my website. So if you want to grab some, check them out. I do make them to order, so it'll take a couple days longer to ship than most things do, but I will make them as soon as I can. Let's see. Oak says only Mary Poppins can ride a bike with an umbrella. That's true. And I told my parents about it, and they were really sweet, and they sent me, like, I think it's Frog Tog brand, but it was a rain suit that was like a jacket and a pair of pants, and I wore the jacket all the time, but since it's plastic, it'd get really hot, and it's really loud, but I could never bring myself to wear the pants because it looked so ridiculous, and they were so loud when you'd bike. And plus, they're really easy to tear since they're plastic. Auntie Anne says she'd have no desire to go to Alaska, and Backwood says his ex-girlfriend desires to live in Alaska. I think it'd be really fun to visit Alaska, but I don't think I'd want to live there. I've had some friends say that it's really nice. Like, my cousin lived up there for like 6 months, and they say it's warmer than in Texas because it's such a drier cold. And I believe it because I've been in Colorado at 19 degrees, and I was out there in like a t-shirt and jeans, and I was fine. And then here I have like 3 layers on, and it's 35 degrees and I'm freezing to death. John Wiggs said it puts the lotions in the checkout. Is it in the checkout tab? Is that where the lotions are going? That's weird. Butch Brown says, poor thing, I had a chill run through me after listening to that story. Yeah, that was the coldest I'd ever been. I could not stop shaking. It took me a long time to get warm after that. I think I went and took a hot shower. And after that, I was like, I'm never riding in the cold and the rain again. Yeah, the humidity's terrible. Okay, I want to show y'all something. Come here. Come here. Up. Let me see if I can grab her. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, you big... Let me see. There she is. Hi. Her tail's wagging. You can't see her tail, but it's wagging. She came to say hi. Hi, Junebug. She's getting big. She's almost 10 months old, and she's very sweet. And she's going to try to eat the styrofoam because she's a puppy, and puppies are not super smart. Let me see if I can pick her up. There we go. She's about 60 pounds now, so she's a chunk. Let me see if she'll sit. She's not a fan. Okay, there you go. She was fine for a little bit, but when I pick her up, she can't fit in my lap, so she wanted down. Thank you, 12 Stones. She's a sweetheart. She loves the cold, so she's been super energetic. But we've been trying to keep her inside where it's warm, so she's just been sleeping. But she's getting big. But hey, Let's Trade Paint. How are you? Hopefully you're warmer than the rest of us. Lori, she is a full lap dog, and she'll still, sometimes if I'm sitting on the floor, she'll still try to crawl in my lap, but she's one of the really long and lean German Shepherds, so she's maybe close to, if you do from the end of her nose to her butt, she's probably about 4 foot long. She's huge, and she's really tall. She's still super scrawny, but it's really hard to pick her up. Oh my goodness. I don't know what else to say. Just trying to get warm. I can finally feel my fingers again. Let's Trade Paint says 23 in Oklahoma. Oof. What part of Oklahoma are you in? It's funny because like when I was at college, A&M South Central Texas, and people would ask me where I'm from. Oh, I'm from Texas, like way up on the Red River. And I'd always joke that I was basically from Oklahoma, but I didn't ever, we would pretend that we were super far from Oklahoma. Northeast Oklahoma. Marianne, look at your big fur baby. Oh, so adorable. Thank you. And thank you, Karen. I think she's pretty too. I think she knows it because I've had people. She loves people, or she used to. She's getting more protective now, and just more reserved. But I've had people try to buy her off me at the vet office. Anytime I take her out, they're like, oh, she's so pretty. If you want to sell her, let me know. I'm like, no, I appreciate it, but I want to keep her. So, but she's something. Oh my goodness. Let me see here. Play on words from the movie Silence of the Lambs. What is that in regard to, John? Silence of the Lambs? I haven't seen it. I think my husband's seen Silence of the Lambs. He's big into horror movies. I am not. I'm not a fan. Hat Creek. Wayne said that you have to learn creative ways to stay warm, and Hat Creek says that's why she has 10 kids. Yeah, well, Northwest Oklahoma, 21 degrees, feels like 12. Lori, I hope you stay warm too. That's terrible. I'm trying to think. I don't feel like, people ask you how many states you've been to, and I grew up 30 minutes from Oklahoma, so I never really considered like Oklahoma. I knew Oklahoma was a different state, but it was so close, it didn't seem like we were crossing state lines, But John says it puts lotion in the basket. A really creepy scene from the movie. Hey, it's a sign you need to buy it. If it keeps adding it to your cart, it means it should be yours. Let's Trade Paint. Keep socializing the puppy so you get a well-rounded dog. I am trying to. She's really good in general. I need to do some more training with her. I take her out a lot to like the hardware store and stuff like that, and then I take her up to my parents' house. My mom has a golden retriever puppy who's 2 weeks older than June, and they love to play, and they travel. Like June loves car rides, and she travels really well, and then we'll take them together out in public. And so I've tried to do better with that. She is more protective if James isn't with me. She's not aggressive, but if a guy comes up, like people are friendly around here. So if there's someone in the checkout line behind me and they start talking to me, and, as you talk, you kind of move around a little bit. And if they take a step toward me, she watches them, especially mostly if it's just guys. If James isn't with me, she's way more alert that there's a guy around that's not James. And she watches really well. But she runs off. She's run off a 100+ pound German Shepherd that attacked my rabbits about a week ago. I think it was last Wednesday. A big collie and a big German Shepherd attacked my rabbits, knocked their cage down. We thought it had killed them. Thankfully, that's not the case. So that was an issue. But June has run them off before. There's a pit bull that runs around and actually charged me in June, and she's run that one off. So she's a really good dog. She keeps the land really safe. But when now that it's super cold out, she's been inside a lot. So hopefully the big dogs don't come back. But yeah, I didn't really realize when I got rabbits that they can be stressed out so easily. And when our neighbor's house caught fire, my 6-month-old rabbit died of shock. The next day, she was just dead. And so when the rabbits got attacked, they were up on 4 cinder blocks. And I was really worried that just the shock of being knocked down, and the actual dogs had dented in the cages. It's like, I don't know, 14 gauge square 1-inch metal like fencing, and they had crushed the cages in. Thankfully, they couldn't get to the rabbits, and they actually cut up their noses. The dogs did. There was dog hair and blood on the outside of the cages. So I was worried that the rabbits would die of shock. And my doe is about 3 weeks pregnant. She should have babies if the breeding took in about a week. So I was really worried that she'd either lose the babies or just die from stress. But so far, they've been great. So Melinda, she's a very good girl. I love her. She's really sweet. Except for the last couple of mornings, she gets really excited. And so at like 6 in the morning, she'll come to the edge of the bed and she'll just poke me with her nose, like, hey, let's get up, let's play. And she pokes my shoulder pretty hard and it wakes me up. And I'm like, go lay down. And she'll go lay down. And about 30 minutes later, here she comes to poke me again. I will, Wayne. I will tell him hi. Hat Creek, yes, we're trying to. It's a complicated situation. Basically, there's no leash laws in our county, which is really dumb. But we can take care of them if they attack us or animals. So don't want to have to do that. But if they attack our animals again, we're going to have to figure out a way to deal with them, because apparently here, even if they attack a person, they don't get put down. They get quarantined for 10 days and then they go back to the owner. So kind of sketchy if you ask me. But John, it's Texas, so you can pretty much do whatever. Legally, they have to be attacking you, or about to either have attacked, about to attack, or are attacking your animals to be able to put them down like that. I really don't want to do that, but it's getting to the point where I don't feel like June can be on our own land without getting attacked by a dog. And our neighbor has a trail cam, and it's already caught the dog. That we filed a report, and they're not supposed to have their dog out anymore, and we've already seen that dog out about 3 times after that. So I mean, if you're not going to take care of your animal and it's attacking other people's animals, I don't know what else to tell you. So yeah, Melinda, I'll definitely. That's the other thing too. Like, if she tries to run them off, she's still little and she's still a baby, and so and sometimes they pack up, which is super dangerous. So, and if she tries to fight them and they either kill her or give me thousands of dollars of vet bills, or I have to shoot them and then I hit her. It's sketchy. It's also hard to get a good shot because we have neighbors all around us, and so trying to do that safely has been kind of tough. But 3 S's, bang bang, shovel and shush. Yeah. It's we've been trying to figure out that situation, and we do need to get a trail cam for the rabbits. But the weird part, usually the dogs run off really, really fast, and usually June goes crazy. And James woke up and he goes, "There's dogs outside." And we still thought they were on our driveway. Well, he rounded the corner to check on the rabbits, and they were right there in front of him. And so he wasn't prepared, I mean, he had some stuff, but you're not prepared for it to still be standing right there. And June never barked. And, he'd closed the front door really hard and everything, and hadn't, like, they just were still there. It didn't scare them. And so I think it freaked out everybody that they were just getting more and more brazen. So we're concerned about that, but we're trying to figure out the best way to deal with it, and obviously let the owners know that there's an issue. That way they can keep their pets safe, so that we can keep ours safe, because it's somebody's pet. But at the same time, I'm not going to let them maul June or my animals or us. So it's been a fun. I was going to get on or talk to Vineyard Farmhouse to get on with him last Wednesday, and then I think Tuesday night was the attack, and I was so fried. And then you have to put a lot of effort into thinking about the best way to handle things, and then it's such a extra stress that you kind of lose track of everything else. So, hi Karen. Let's see. Looking forward to seeing more of the new lotion scents. Thanks, 12 Stones. I'm excited. As soon as I can, I think like a week testing period will be fine. And then, if they discolor, if someone has them for like 6 months and they discolor, it's just, I guess it is what it is. I don't see that being a problem. So I'm excited to list them soon. Melinda Dobson agrees with Hat Creek. Yeah, it's just, I hate for, like, June's really good and she stays on our land, but I would hate for her to escape and somebody just shoot her without consulting me. That being said, I try to really train her and be out with her and make sure she's not getting into trouble, and a lot of people don't do that. But I'd like somebody to give me the same courtesy, so I'm trying to extend the courtesy I would want if June got out, to the other people with their animals. But, June doesn't attack stuff like other people's do. So, all right, well, it's 7:03 and it looks like a lot of y'all are going to Tim. So if you got time, jump over to Ridge Life's live. Tim's really cool, and I'm gonna let y'all go. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. I had a good time. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna go live next week. I might take off a week and then join up with y'all in a couple more weeks, but I'll always post before I go live. So thanks for hanging out. Make sure you stay warm and have a wonderful night. Bye.